Hello and welcome back to Hebrew Hits. I'm your host, Malia. Right now I'm here with my great uncle who was born in 1924, and I am here to talk to him about his life going through the war, and he is a real hero. He has done so many incredible things fighting against the Germans. I'm here to introduce my uncle, Karl Wozniak. How are you doing today? Welcome to the show.
Hello.
You're listening to Hebrew Hits. I'm your host, Malia, and I'm so excited that you're tuning in to this show because that means that you want to succeed in life and you do not want to fail. Many of us go through such difficult challenges in life, and it's up to us not to fall victim to them. It's up to us to rise above it and to succeed. I sit down with people who have gone through real big struggles and show that they overcame them and are super successful today. It's what you do with what you have that makes a difference. Hebrew Hits is presented by TMC. So I know that there have been many incredible stories that you have shared with me throughout the years. One of them has to do with how you were saved during Kristallnacht. Can you share with my audience how you were saved during Kristallnacht?
The Hitler Youth were attacking the Jewish people on Kristallnacht. And I really don't exactly can remember what happened.
Were you there with Max?
And there were street fights. We had no other choice than to fight back, whatever we could do. We throwing stone each other. And the Hitler Youth, they were screaming, dirty Jew, dirty Jew. And I told them, I look much cleaner than you. This is a long time ago. And I remember that there was a propaganda movie for the Nazis. And all the Hitler Youth in their uniform, they were in the movie theater. When the light went on for intermission, we got the shock of our life. We were the only one without the uniform. I mean, in our clothes, and all around there were Nazis, and they were screaming, "Jude, Jude!" We had to run out from the movie theater. That was horrible.
What country is this?
In Germany. Yeah. And they always we had this problem with the Nazis. It was horrible, horrible on the Kristallnacht. Burning all the Jewish books, whatever, the Sefer Torah, everything in the fire. They were burning everything. Yeah, I remember that very well.
Were you outside?
And then,
you were outside?
yeah, outside the synagogue. And then the synagogue, they was burning the synagogue where I was praying every Friday evening and Saturday. That was in the Wohnstraße synagogue. That was horrible, horrible. And what could we do? Wherever we went, they said, because they didn't scream so much at me, because I didn't look so much Jewish. My brother looked more Jewish now. And it was horrible. It's difficult to repeat it, whatever we went through in Nazi Germany. Before the Nazi came to power, it was so nice over there to live. After Hitler came to power, and he wanted to all the young kids to be Nazis in the Hitler Youth. And their father will get better jobs to do. The rest of the kids who didn't want to be, their parents didn't want them to be in the Hitler Youth, they didn't have no job to work with. Then we couldn't make money. And that was the difference. I cannot repeat, what we went through then. Cold weather in Siberia was about 45 below zero. When we're spitting out, ice came out from the mouth. And the wolves were roaming around. It was horrible, horrible. If not, it was so cold, 45 degrees below zero. And my nose was white, my ears was frozen. And I was told, take snow and rub it on your nose, rub it on your face, rub it on your ears. If not, I fell off. It was 45 degrees below zero. And I did it, and I saved my nose, my ears. If not, you would have seen me without it. Yeah, I remember that.
Did anyone lose their ears or their nose because they didn't add the snow?
I forgot to ask them. And the prisoners, the Nazis, the German prisoners, they were so scared of the Siberia. They heard about it. And they didn't have no choice. But the prisoners, they have to do what they want to do.
Uncle Karl, how did you get to Siberia? Like, why were you sent there?
I went to Ural Mountain. That's not far from Siberia. Ural Mountain. That's not far from Siberia. And I served in the army over there, in the Russian army.
That's where the army was.
And we had prisoners from other countries too. And they put me in charge of quite a few prisoners.
Are these prisoners of war, like German prisoners, or like prisoners who are innocent people that were just taken?
No prisoners of war. They were prisoners, we captured, prisoners of war. And especially the Ukraine were very anti-Semite. They were very anti-Jewish. And in Kiev, that's the capital of Ukraine, lots of Jewish people lived there. And they suffered quite a bit from them. And they were very happy when we came and freed them from their misery. This, I think. And I served in the Russian army. I got 3 medals. One for bravery, one for capturing the city of Königsberg in Germany, and one for the victory over Germany. And then I served in the Israeli the Palmach, paratrooper.
So tell me about you jumping out of the airplanes. Tell me about the paratrooping.
I jumped 41 times from the plane. And in Syria and Lebanon, and most of the time where the enemy wanted to attack Israel, and I was there ready to fight back. And one time I got stung by a scorpion. And I was feeling so bad about the poison from a scorpion. And I caught the scorpion who did it to me. I cut him in pieces. You won't do it anymore to me. Yeah.
Was it when you were jumping out of the airplanes? That was when you were jumping out of the airplanes. Is that World War II, like fighting against the Germans? Was that what part of the war was that?
Oh, that was in World War II. World War II. It was in the China Desert. That was in Syria. All the countries around Israel, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan.
Let me ask you this question. Did you want to be a part of the army, or was it like forced upon you that you had to go to war?
You know, when you get an order to do this, to that, you have to do because you're a soldier. And whatever what I was told, I did. And no wonder I got the medals for whatever what I did. And
If you can share a story that you remember that really makes you feel like, wow, like I remember this from the war, out of everything, what is that story that comes to mind?
Defense Minister Ariel Sharon, I was his guard wherever he went because the leader of the Israeli army is always the head of the army. By the fighting, and I was his guard. Wherever he went, I guarded him. And that was in Egypt, in Jordan, in Lebanon, Syria. And we laid lots of mine. You know, when someone steps on the mine, it blows it up. I cannot recollect so many things went through. It's not so easy.
Is it something that you like? Do you enjoy sharing stuff about the war because you want people to know, or do you feel more like you'd rather people, rather not share because it's just so challenging what happened?
It's not easy to remember. There's so many things happened, so many things. It's to think about all the things what happened. My whole article is written in the part of the article in the Jewish journal, and I don't know if I have the journal so I could read it.
I will share the journal with my audience as well. Now, there was a story that you told me as a child, how you I thought you were in Siberia, but I could be wrong. The guard told you have to finish a riddle. He gave you a riddle, and you have to do a math equation in like an hour or something. And you figured out the math. Like there's 100 men and $100 people and $100. And if you got the riddle, then you were saved, and you were able to crack it in like 20 minutes. Do you remember that?
I remember that. I forgot all about it. I remember something about it.
So do you want to share what you remember?
I don't remember the story. I only remember something happened, something. I don't remember. Can you repeat it to me?
Yeah, so there's a riddle. I thought that you told me that you're in Siberia, but maybe you were close to Siberia. And it was freezing cold, and the soldiers were given a riddle. And the riddle, in order to survive or something along those lines, you had to crack the riddle. There are 100 people and $100. Yeah. The men are $10, the women are $5, the children are a penny. Or the men are $5, the women are $1, and the children are a penny. How many, and everything has to equal 100. How many people are there? How many women, how many children, how many men, and how many dollars do each of them have?
I remember that story only. I cannot recall. It's too difficult for me to repeat it. Because I really can't remember all this. My head is not the same like it used to be.
Now, as you see your life, we're many years past World War II. What have you, Like, what have you seen your life to be, I guess, after the war?
After the war, the first thing is the Nazis were eliminated. No more Nazis around. No more leader like Adolf Hitler and Goebbels and Göring, the high commander of the German Nazi Party. They were eliminated. And hopefully that German understood what they did to them, because they were the biggest loser than anyone else. And I hope it won't come anymore like that.
What would you say to all the bad people in this world that are committing really bad crimes to innocent people? What would you say to them?
They should be punished like anything. You cannot do that anymore, because all the people want to live in peace, normal, and live a life is supposed to be. And that's a solution. That's a solution. What's the busy?
The last question I have for you before I'm going to end the show. Now, if you don't want to answer this, you don't have to. But if you can it's okay. If you can remember during the war, what was the scariest time you ever experienced that you're like, am I actually going to survive this?
The serious crime was that the Nazis took all the Jewish people where they could get them and put them in a concentration camp where they gassed the Jewish people. That was the worst crime ever. You see, you cannot think about that, the scariest thing, because once you're involved in fighting, you fight whatever, and you try to best you defend yourself. And they were digging holes when the enemy came, so that we could shoot them. They won't see us, and we shoot them from the bunkers, whatever. And or you die or you fight. Rather fight than die.
How old were you when you were fighting in Germany?
There was in 1942, about 18 years old, 19 years old. That's the prime time of...
How did you get to the Russian army?
Oh, first of all, they knew I'm Jewish, and they knew I was born in Germany, and I was Jewish, and they know that once I'm Jewish, I will fight whatever I can to fight against against the Nazis. And they took me to, and I was in Ukraine. Ukraine, there lived lots of Jewish people. And in Kiev, it was the capital of Ukraine, lots of Jewish people lived there. And I joined them to fight. And it's difficult for me to remember all these particulars, there's so many things I went through.
So one more thing that I have to ask you, and this is a horrible thing that I have to ask you, but I'm going to ask it to you because you did survive World War II. For all those people that are denying the Holocaust, what do you have to say to them?
The people who deny the Holocaust, they are very anti-Semites and very big liars. The Holocaust was there. And the Nazi, wherever they find Jewish, whatever Jewish people, they put them in the gas chamber. You know what it means to just be sent to the gas chamber, take all the clothes off, naked, horrible, horrible. And in my thought was when I could capture those people who did this, the German, because I fought against the German who, I mean, the Nazis. Not all the Germans were like that, or most of them, they were very anti-Jewish. And it was horrible, horrible to think what they did to the Jewish people. Yeah.
I know I keep adding things, but do you feel that history is repeating itself in 2022? Do you feel that history is repeating itself in 2022?
I hope not, and I think it will not, because the world saw what's happening, and they realized it wasn't worthwhile to let it go like that. I don't think so that it will repeat itself again. I don't think so.
Hopefully it won't. Now, before we go, I appreciate you sitting here with me. Before we go, would you give me a blessing because you are a World War II survivor?
I cannot say that, but how? I wish, I mean, that this would happen in the past won't repeat itself. And people should live in peace, and there should be no fighting anymore, and one nation against another nation. And they shouldn't say any more dirty Jew or to be anti-Semite, because what can I tell you? Every person should be should live equal like any other person. And I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I want to thank you. If there's anything else that you would like to share, you can share it now. If there's anything else that you want to share with the public. If not, then I just want to say thank you so much for being here with me on Hebrew Hits, which is my show.
That's enough. Okay. I think it's enough what I said.
Well, thank you so much. This is my uncle Karl. He was born in 1924 in Germany. Just interviewed him about World War II. He has 3 medals, 1 for bravery, 1 for capturing the city of Königsberg, and 1 for the victory over Germany. This is a true hero, someone who risked his life to protect others. And I'm just so happy that I finally got my uncle Karl on the show. So thank you so much for being here. I had a great time speaking with you.